Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really plunging into something ancient. We've got these amazing sources you shared, excerpts from the Rig Veda.
Yeah, one of the world's oldest sacred texts. It's quite something to have these.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So our mission today, we want to navigate these hymns, these incredibly old prayer.
Try and pull out the most compelling bits, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Understand who they were praying to, what those deities were like, and, what does it tell us about their hopes, their fears, how they saw the universe thousands of years ago?
It's a fascinating glimpse.
I think we'll find some surprisingly human concerns, maybe see things through a very different lens.
Definitely. And it's important to remember the Rig Veda isn't just like poetry collecting dust.
Right.
These are powerful, direct addresses, invocations to divine forces.
Thinking of them that way as active invocations.
It gives us a really vibrant window, doesn't it, into ancient religious practice, ancient thought.
Okay, let's dive in then. First up, the sources mention the Maruts,
The Maruts, yeah.
often called storm gods, right? And the descriptions of their arrival, pretty vivid.
They really are. You get this immediate sense of a massive force coming down.
The sources say lightning-laden cars.
Yeah, but also sounding with sweet songs, which is an interesting mix.
Power and song together.
Ah.
And they're definitely armed. Lances winged with steeds.
Right. Often those red-hued or tawny coursers, really specific imagery.
But then there's this detail,
Mm.
having swords upon their bodies. For beauty, that seems unusual.
It does to us, maybe, but it suggests, doesn't it, that for this culture, the martial, the powerful aspect, that was also beautiful.
Power is aesthetic.
Exactly. Their strength, their, capacity for action, those swords symbolize it. It wasn't separate from their divine look. It's just a different way of seeing beauty tied right into that formidable power.
And their actions are pure storm, aren't they? They stir woods.
Uh-huh. And smitten earth with the chariot's felly, that raw impact.
So they embody that destructive, maybe creative power of the storm.
Precisely. But the hymns, they aren't just describing them, they're asking for things.
Right. The purpose of the invocation. What are they asking the Maruts for?
It's quite practical, actually, seeking noblest food, glory, rays, maybe meaning light or radiance.
Okay.
And interestingly, men to celebrate their praise.
So sustenance, recognition, and, worshipers.
Yeah. And there's that fascinating little story in the sources about the Gautamas.
Oh, right. It says they were making their prayer with singing.
And they pushed the well's lid up to drink the water.
Wow. So the prayer, the song, directly leads to getting water. A physical need met right there.
It's a perfect example, isn't it? How woven together the divine and the everyday were.
Totally.
The prayer wasn't some abstract thing. It had this tangible, life-sustaining result.
And when Gautama actually saw the Maruts, the description gets wild again.
Yeah, wild boars rushing about with tusks of iron. That just captures that raw, untamed energy they represent.
Powerful stuff.
And the sources also link them to Soma, describing a freshening draught that rusheth, like the voice of one who prayeth.
So Soma, maybe the ritual drink, is connected to their power.
Yeah.
Or maybe the inspiration for the hymns themselves.
Could be either or both. Soma seems to weave through many of these hymns.
Okay, so we've got these powerful, specific storm gods, the Maruts, linked to immediate needs. But the sources also show them invoking the Visvadevas.
Right, the all gods.
Which sounds, comprehensive. Why do that? Why invoke everyone?
It feels like a strategy, doesn't it? A sort of spiritual safety net.
How so?
Well, if you're not sure exactly which deity handles a specific problem, or maybe you just want blessings and protection from every possible direction.
You're calling the whole team.
Exactly. The aspirations here are really broad. Powers auspicious from every side, wanting to be never deceived, unhindered, and victorious. It's about total well-being, total success.
And the list of gods included in just these couple of hymns is huge. Bhaga, Daksa, Mitra, Aditi, Araman, Varuna, Soma again.
Kai the Asvins, Sarasvati, wind, earth, heaven, Pusan, Indra, Tarksya, Braspati, Vishnu.
It really is all gods,
Yeah.
covering pretty much every domain you can think of.
And they're seen as a collective force, as guardians day by day, offering auspicious favor, bounty.
And life itself.
Yeah, crucially, extending life that we may live. Longevity is a really profound focus in these prayers.
That prayer for a long life, it's quite moving, isn't it?
Right.
100 autumns stand before us, O ye gods.
Within whose space our sons become fathers in turn, break ye not in the mist our course of fleeting life.
Wow. It speaks so directly to that deep human desire, to see your family continue to live a full span of time.
It's incredibly relatable thousands of years later. And this section, it also links prosperity to something specific, keeping the law.
Ah, right. The winds waft sweets, the rivers pour sweets for the man who keeps the law. What do you think of that law means here? Cosmic order, ritual, moral rules.
It seems like a blend, doesn't it? Based on the context, the blessings they're asking for, probably alignment with cosmic order, yes, maybe doing the rituals correctly, but also likely um, righteous action within the community, acting properly.
And the result is harmony with nature itself.
Exactly. The world responds with sweetness. Sweet be the night and sweet the dawns, sweet the terrestrial atmosphere. Sweet be our Father Heaven.
Even the trees and the sun become sweet.
Full of sweets, the tall tree, and full of sweets the sun, and then bringing it right back home. May our milch kind be sweet for us.
So it's a prayer for this deeply integrated life, prosperous, harmonious, tied to nature, tied to community.
That seems to be the ideal, yeah.
But within this all God's invocation, the description of Edie is, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it really is.
Aditi is the heaven, Aditi is midair, Aditi is the mother and the sire and son, Aditi is all gods, Aditi all that hath been born and shall be born. How do we even approach a deity described as everything?
It's huge. It positions her as this fundamental cosmic principle, the source, the substance of existence itself.
More than just the mother of other gods.
Much more. I mean, she is the
Mhm.
mother of important deities like the Adityas. But this description suggests she is the totality. It's this incredibly profound idea of like divine immanence being in everything and transcendence all at once.
Captured in just a few lines.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, let's move on to Soma. We heard it mentioned before, but there's a hymn dedicated to it.
Right. Hymn 91 focuses on Soma.
And it's described as preeminent for wisdom, a leader guiding people to the straightest path.
Yes, Soma is definitely presented as insightful, a guide, most wise by thine insight, strong by thine energies and all-possessing.
Powerful, too.
Oh, yeah. Mighty by all thy powers and greatness, by glories art thou glorious, clearly a guide of mortals, and it's compared to other major deities, pure, like Mitra, adorable, like Aryaman.
And it's everywhere.
Seems so. The text says it's on the earth, in heaven, on mountains, in the plants, and in the waters, ubiquitous.
So is Soma the actual plant, the drink they made, or some kind of divine essence in the plant and drink? The text seems a bit fuzzy on that.
It does, and that ambiguity might be part of its power in these hymns. It's treated as both, a physical substance used in ritual and this potent divine being.
And it's not just passive. It takes action.
Definitely active. Lord of Heroes, King, yea, Virtus Slayer, that links it directly to Indra's most famous victory.
Interesting connection.
It's called an auspicious energy. People ask it to guard us from him who threatens us. And it's clearly a source of material well-being, enricher, healer of disease, wealth finder, prospering our store.
And the gifts Soma gives, they're very specific, aren't they? Reflecting what that society values.
Absolutely. The sources list quite a range. The milch cow, a fleet steed.
Okay, wealth, transport.
And a man of active knowledge. So intelligence, and not just any knowledge. Skilled in home duties, meet for Holy Synod, for council meet, a glory to his father.
So practical skills, social standing, respect within the community, even family honor. Soma bestows the whole package for a thriving, respected life.
It seems so. But what's really fascinating are the cosmic actions they attribute to Soma.
Right, like creation?
Yeah. These herbs, these milch kine, and these running waters, all these thou hast generated, and more. The spacious firmament hast thou expanded, and with the light thou hast dispelled the darkness.
So Soma isn't just bringing personal blessings. It's credited with, like, fundamental cosmic creation and order, bringing light itself.
It's seen as this foundational force, and the way they want to feel its presence, it's quite beautiful and personal. They want Soma to be happy in our heart as milch kine in the grassy meads, as a young man in his own house.
Ah, so comfortable, familiar, life-affirming, integrated right into the self, into the home.
Exactly. And they pray for it to wax great, to gather strength, so its power isn't static, it's dynamic, responsive to their worship.
Okay, next up in the sources, Dawn, Ushas.
Ah, Ushas.
Visually stunning. Absolutely. Raising her banner, spreading shining light. Descriptions like bright red in hue, purple beams, the red cows.
She's depicted with incredible artistry, really, and She's not just passive light, she brings distinct perception.
Actively doing things.
Yes. She drives away the darksome monster night. She creates light for all the world of life, lays darkness open as the cows their stall.
That's a great image.
She's this force of awakening, waking to motion every living creature. And remarkably, the text says she understands the voice of each adorer.
Wow. And the descriptions of her appearance, like a dancer, puts her broidered garments on.
Or as a cow yields her udder, so she bears her breast. Very intimate, powerful imagery.
And connecting her beauty to ritual, too. Like tints that deck the post in sacrifices.
Yeah. But what's really compelling about Dawn, I think, is her dual nature.
How do you mean?
Well, she's Ancient of Days, again born newly. She represents constant renewal, the new day.
Okay, that makes sense.
But her arrival also marks time passing. So the hymns say she wastes away the life of mortals, like a skilled hunter cutting birds in pieces.
Whoa! That's intense. So she's both beautiful renewal and the reminder of mortality.
Exactly. Yet despite that reminder, she still brings refreshment to the liberal devotee.
A complex figure, then. So what do people ask her for, given this complexity?
Very tangible earthly things, actually. Strength with offspring and men, conspicuous with kine and horses.
So family, status, livestock.
Right. And wealth, renowned and ample, in brave sons, troops of slaves, far famed for horses. It's about securing the future, generations, social standing, wealth in livestock, even labor.
And she's connected to other cycles.
Yeah, linked to night, her sister, and the sun, described as her lover's splendor, showing her place in that daily cosmic rhythm.
And the Gautamas, who pray to the Maruts.
They also praise dawn, which highlights how different deities were part of their lives, invoked for different needs or at different times. And she's also associated with the Asvin's twin gods, known for healing and bringing strength.
Okay, now we get to Agni, the fire god. Seems absolutely central to Vedic ritual.
Oh, completely fundamental, because fire is the medium of sacrifice. It's the connection point between the human world and the divine.
And the sources give him so many names, so many roles.
They do. He's Yadavedas, the knower of all things. He's the key intermediary, presenter and the chief invoker, the director, purifier, great high priest.
Also connected to Dawn.
Yeah, a wondrous herald of the dawn. He's a friend of gods, the Vasu of the Vasas, head of a class of deities, and even called King Supreme or all things living. He operates on every level, cosmic, ritual, domestic.
His power seems huge and kind of double-edged.
Definitely. He eats the presented offering, consuming it to send it to the gods. He's asked to bring hither the Adityas, but he's also a weapon against evil. Smite with thy weapons those of evil speech and thought, devouring demons.
Fire purifies, but it also destroys.
Exactly. The sources describe him attacking forest trees, consuming the landscape. He can even cause floods, apparently. Makes stream and course and torrent, and inundates the earth.
Wow. And he's a collector. Gathers. All ancient things within his maw.
Yeah. Fire consumes, transforms, reduces things back to their essence. But what's really striking is how present he is everywhere.
Okay.
Described as lovely of form, alike on every side, he seeth through even the dark of night. And he's present in heaven and earth, all present Agni, all plants that grow on ground hath he pervaded.
In everything.
Seems like it. And the imagery around his origin is fascinating too.
The infant born to sundry quarters.
Yeah, produced by Travastar's 10 daughters, possibly the fingers kindling fire, and having 3 several places of his birth, in midair, in the heaven, and in the waters.
So earthly fire, lightning, and what? Maybe heat and water.
Oh,
Or hidden fire.
could be. It reinforces that Agni isn't just the hearth fire. He's this divine power with multiple manifestations, and that lion metaphor when he's born captures that inherent power, that potential ferocity.
Then the sources pair him up. Agni Soma.
Right, a mighty pair, joined in operation.
And they're credited with some pretty major deeds together.
This is where their combined power really shines. The sources say they stole the kine, his food, from Panini. That's a key myth recovering vital resources, cattle often symbolizing light or wealth, stolen by a demon.
Okay, restoring cosmic goods.
Right. They also caused the brood of Briseia to perish, another demonic force. They found the light, set up the shining lights in heaven, and freed the rivers that were bound in fetters. They're like a cosmic rescue team restoring order and vital flows.
And their separate origins are mentioned again?
Yeah, one of you Matar has been brought from heaven, the falcon rent the other from the mountain, reinforces that they're distinct powers, coming from different realms, but uniting for a purpose.
So what are people asking for from Agni and from Agni Soma together? It seems like a lot.
It's a very comprehensive list covering almost everything.
Like what?
Well, first, purification. Chase our sin away. That's a big one for Agni. Then material wealth. Shine thou wealth on us. Goodly fields for pleasant homes. Wealth, renowned, and ample. Ample recompense.
Strength, long life.
Definitely. Great strength, with offspring all his life, length of days, and protection, well-being. Freedom from every sin with perfect wholeness. Good protection and kind favor. Health and riches.
And really practical stuff, too.
Oh yeah, down to the livelihood. Cherish well our horses and let our cows be fat. And that refrain keeps coming back. May his light chase our sin away. Underscores that purifying role.
The visual descriptions of Agni are incredible, too. Yoking red steeds, wind sped.
His roar was like a bull's when he consumes, eating up the grass, thy sparks fly forth abroad.
And that image of him carrying them across trouble, or the flood, as in a ship.
Yeah, he's both this consuming force and a reliable guide, a protector, able to get worshippers safely through difficulty, like fire guiding in darkness, or maybe even related to using fire in, say, boat building.
And there's another aspect mentioned, Vaisvanara.
Right, Agni Vaisvanara. Seen as king supreme or all things living, sometimes even put in rivalry with Surya, the sun god. Suggests Agni's light and heat are seen as just as fundamental. He's called the root of wealth, gathering place of treasures, banner of sacrifice, absolutely central to prosperity and ritual life.
Okay, last but definitely not least, Indra, often called the king of the gods.
He certainly acts like it. He's the king supreme of earth and spacious heaven, the lord of true power, and famously invoked in battles.
His big title is Vritra Slayer.
That's his defining myth, slaying the dragon Vritra who held back the waters. So Indra is all about strength, power, action.
The descriptions really focus on that.
Completely. He's mighty, strong. His path is unattainable way like Surya's, resistless paths. He's mightiest with his friends, like those Maruts we talked about, strong with the Rudras as with his own children.
They makes chart.
He's a humbler of pride, the exciter of the conflict. He doesn't shy away from confrontation. He initiates it.
And his actions are about conquering, providing.
Exactly. He's girt by Maruts. He's forth-milking heaven's genial moisture, bringing the rain after slaying Vritra. He's always conquering his foemen, doing deeds of glory.
And worshippers want him to help them gain the sunlight.
Yeah, suggesting victory brings light, prosperity, maybe literally seeing the sun after a storm or battle. He can check the mighty, the text says, even with his left hand, but he also helps the humble acquire riches, gathering booty with his right hand.
So the main reason to call on Indra seems pretty straightforward.
Absolutely direct. Be our succor. Be our help.
In times of trouble.
Exactly. Conflict, need, darkness, you turn to Indra. You ask for immediate help, for booty, the spoils of war, for sunlight, for comfort. He's the one who helps you win treasures. And his association with other powerful groups, Anjarases, Maruts, Rudras, just reinforces his role as the leader you call on when things get tough. He even found light, even in the blinding darkness.
Wow. Okay. So we've gone through quite a journey here. The Maruts, Visvadevas, Soma, Dawn, Agni, Indra, bringing it all together. What's the big picture? What do these hymns, these sources really tell us about what mattered most to these ancient people?
Well, they paint a picture of a society deeply connected to the natural world, acutely aware of how much they depended on it.
For everything, basically.
For survival, for prosperity, and you see these very human desires shining through. Security, definitely.
Yeah.
Health, tangible wealth, cows, horses, resources.
Family legacy.
Yeah, the continuation of their lineage, seeing their sons have sons, and victory over enemies, over challenges, maybe over drought or darkness.
And the deities aren't remote figures.
Not at all. They're intimately involved in the world. In the fire, the storm, the dawn, the ritual drink. They're right there.
And there seems to be this constant back and forth, this reciprocal relationship.
Absolutely. It's not just asking for stuff. It's an exchange. The worshippers offer the hymns, the prayers, the soma, the fire sacrifice, keeping the law, as they put it.
And in return.
In return, they implore the deities for favor, for protection, for all those blessings we talked about. And the details, the vivid imagery, the wild boars, the red cows of dawn, Agni's roar, that's what gives us those aha moments, right? It helps us see how they viewed the forces shaping their world and how they tried to engage with them.
So thinking about all these different powers, they invoked the raw energy of the Maruts. Aditi being everything, Agni's purifying fire, Soma's wisdom, Indra's might, and the specific things they asked for, like that 100 autumns of life or sweet fat cows.
Yeah.
What does the combination of all these prayers tell us about what a full, well-lived life looked like back then? What was the scope of it?
That's a great question. I think it suggests a really holistic view. Well-being wasn't sliced up into little categories.
What do you mean?
A good life, a flourishing life, seemed to require everything working together. Strength, yes, but also prosperity, long life, but also wisdom. Connection to the divine, absolutely, but also deep connection to the natural world, to the community.
So it wasn't enough just to be rich or just be pious?
It seems not. A truly good life maybe meant being in right relationship with all these different powers, these different aspects of the cosmos, seeking blessings across, well, every dimension of human and natural experience you could imagine. It was a really rich, integrated vision of what it meant to live well.
A rich, integrated vision, something definitely worth pondering. Thank you so much for sharing these sources and walking us through them. This was fascinating.
My pleasure. It is great to explore them with you.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.